Gridlock breaks, power shifts.
We're live in the Capitol.
The holdout has finally folded. 40 days of brinkmanship ended by 8 Democrats and one nation fed up. Schumer's shutdown collapses. In theaters now.
Chuck Schumer just got caught in the biggest political blunder of his career. For weeks, Democrats blamed Trump for a government shutdown they orchestrated. Federal workers suffered, airports ground to a halt, and the media screamed about Republican chaos. Then the truth emerged. 8 Senate Democrats defected, the government reopening and the mask coming off. The actual debate is occurring right now. What they called a healthcare crisis was actually an election stunt. One Democrat senator even admitted voting no without even knowing why. Another confession slipping out on the Morning Joe. The shutdown was designed to bury crime statistics from blue cities. The whole thing was theater, and America was the stage. So stay tuned. And just like Schumer's shutdown collapsed when the truth came out, your skin's natural defenses collapsed without proper collagen support. In a groundbreaking clinical trial, women who took 2.5 grams of collagen peptides daily saw their skin transform in just 8 weeks. 25% reduction in eye wrinkle depth. That's real change that you could see. 9% improvement in elasticity. 29% boost in hydration. While politicians play games with your future, you can take control of your health with BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen. 5 premium types of collagen work together to rebuild what time breaks down. Get 51% off at healthwithgary.com, plus free VIP coaching, a free skin nutrition ebook, and free shipping. Visit healthwithgary.com today. You'll find it linked in the description. So, as we have the defectors from the Democrat Party, now we have the Senate voting to officially begin the debate on legislation to reopen the federal government, shut down for 41 days. 7 Democrat senators voted yes. Cortez, Masto, Fetterman, Durbin, Hassan, Kaine, and Rosen, Shaheen, and King voted yes with Republicans. So the debate is going on. The Senate is voting now to officially begin debate on legislation to reopen the federal government shutdown for 41 days. A simple majority is now needed. The Senate moves towards reopening government. The Senate began debate on ending the 36-day shutdown with likely passage Monday night. We can only hope so. The bill includes back pay for federal workers, but Democrats aren't backing down on the health care subsidy demands. Mario Nafal continues here. Patty Murray of Washington, Democrat. I have no intention of letting Republicans off the hook. Meanwhile, Trump is asking the Supreme Court to extend the pause on blocking full SNAP funding for 42 million Americans. Solicitor General John Sauer called it a tragedy of Congress's creation while asking justices to maintain the block. So this is only the beginning. Democrats also admitting the shutdown was only used to fight Trump. This is on Fox. Listen.
Democrat.
Apparently, there's some steps on the table to shorten the process that it will take to get this back into the House, get it passed there, and then go to the president. Will we actually see those steps taken to speed this up?
Hopefully, Harris. This shutdown has dragged on for over 40 days. Democrats, in their meltdown over the last 12 hours, basically have admitted that they did this in order to try and fight back against Trump, and they used the American people as leverage. And unfortunately, they've created chaos at our airports for those Americans that rely on SNAP and WIC, and for those federal employees that have not received a paycheck in over a month. It's outrageous, and they deserve every little bit of criticism they are getting because of what they've done to the American people. So I hope procedurally it moves quickly, and that when we're in D.C. On Wednesday, we get this done.
Apparently.
So it looks by Wednesday we may have the final answer. The Senate right now started an hour ago. The Senate begins a series of votes on the deal to end the shutdown. President Trump 3 hours ago in the Oval Office talking about air travel.
Why? When the government can guarantee to Americans that travel is going to go back to normal once the government... That travel is? Oh, yeah. It'll go better than normal. You know why? When the government reopens... Yeah, sure. It'll be much better than normal because we're buying the most sophisticated avionics and, technology for our control towers. And we didn't have that. We had a guy named Buttigieg. Edge, they say is the best way. Just say 2 edges, like off the edge of a cliff, which is where they were taking us, by the way.
Buttigieg was the Secretary of Transportation, and he spent billions of dollars trying to patch together our air traffic control system, which was a conglomeration of all different systems in all different cities. They had hundreds of companies working on it, and they were spending billions of dollars. And when they turned it on, it didn't work. It didn't even work a little bit. That's why you had a helicopter crashing into an airplane, that if we had a great system, bells and whistles would have started going off. So we are now in the process. We're in final bids of getting the finest system anywhere in the world. I've analyzed it. Sean Duffy has been working really hard on it, doing a fantastic job, by the way. And over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be handing out the finest air traffic control system anywhere in the world. All the towers will be equipped. They were going copper wire into glass wire into other types of wire. And if you knew anything, you know copper wire doesn't work with glass. You know glass doesn't work with other substances. And they spent billions of dollars, and when they turned it on, nothing happened. Okay? We're getting the most sophisticated, all brand new. All brand new. Every control tower will have the same exact system. It'll be the most sophisticated system by far in the world. And what we've done is we've looked around other countries, and we've taken the absolute best systems in every different form, because there are different. You have lots of different companies like IBM and Raytheon and a lot of great companies. They're all bidding, and we're going to pick the best one, and it'll get built relatively quickly. And we are going to have the greatest air traffic control system anywhere in the world.
You can guarantee to Americans that
air travel is going to come back even better than it was before. Here's President Trump discussing a dividend to middle-income people, $2,000.
Tariffs to we're going to issue a dividend to our middle-income people and lower-income people of about $2,000. And we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt. We're going to be lowering our debt, which is a national security thing. So we're doing a lot of good work. And the numbers were reported so incorrectly. The real numbers are trillions of dollars have been taken in or gotten in terms of investment from the tariffs. And so if that were ever reversed, it would be a disaster. Frankly, it would be a national security problem for our country. And nobody thinks it's going to be reversed. I think we had a very good court case. As you know, it's before the Supreme Court right now. But if that were ever reversed, you know, people are saying, oh, it's $1 billion. Some people said, oh, it's $2 billion. Well, that obviously we can handle very easily. But this is trillions of dollars we're talking about in terms of the tariff income and all the investment income that's come into our country. You know, we're going to issue a dividend.
Dividends coming to Americans. What will you do with that $2,000 check? Here is a question being asked of the president in the Oval Office. Do you approve of the deal that's happening on Capitol Hill to end the shutdown?
They want to.
You mentioned the senators that are here, Mr. President. Do you personally approve of the deal that's happening right now on Capitol Hill to end the government?
Well, it depends what deal we're talking about. But if it's a deal I heard about, that's certainly, you know, they want to change the deal a little bit, but I would say so. I think based on everything I'm hearing, they haven't changed anything, and we have support from enough Democrats, and we're going to be opening up our country. It's too bad it was closed, but we'll be opening up our country very quickly.
Opening up our country very quickly. Over the weekend, Air Force One made a stunning flyover as the Commanders and Lions battle at Northwest Stadium in Maryland. Yes, the crowd goes wild. Look at that beautiful plane doing a flyover. Democrats admitting they shut down the government over the election. Oh, this is Harry Sisson?
Well, there you have it. Democrats just caved and bent the knee to Donald Trump and the Republicans.
Harry, it's actually way worse than that. Because not only did they cave and get nothing that they asked for, but we also found out the only reason they were keeping the government shut down was because of the elections. Because we found out through internal memos that the Democrats wanted to cave. They wanted to open the government back up because they knew they weren't going to get anything. They knew the fight wasn't worth it. But they wanted to keep it closed through the elections so they could use that as leverage, so that they could play that against the Republicans and say, oh my God, this is going to get us elected. And that they were prepared to cave, but they said they needed to wait more than 3 days after the election, so it didn't seem like they were doing it for that reason. So the Democrats have now admitted that they shut down the government and put the lives of 42 million Americans at risk just so they could make sure they won the election.
Absolutely despicable. But we expect nothing less. Ted Cruz 5 hours ago posting, he says, last night we got the votes necessary to begin the process of reopening the government. And on his show, they explain what it means.
Cruz as well here. And with you, and this episode will be a dual episode. My show and Senator Cruz as well here because we're trying to figure out what the hell's going on, just like every other American, when it comes to, is the government open? Is it closed? Senator, as we are doing this 10 o'clock Eastern, we're recording on Sunday night. You've just left the Senate floor. So where the hell are we now? Because there were some reports like the government's reopened, then it's not reopened. We're heading towards reopening. What is right? What's wrong?
Well, we have really good news, which is the government is in the process of reopening. It's not going to be reopened on Monday, but we got the votes tonight that will start the process of reopening it. We're going to explain exactly what that means, what the deal was, and what the timing is going to be and how that's likely to impact you, whether it is going to a national park or going to the Smithsonian or flying on an airplane.
So they got the votes. They're debating it right now. The process in play. Don Lemon, of course, calling out the 8 Senate Democrats for caving and voting to advance the bill for government funding in order to end the shutdown. Listen to this.
Democratic senators, look, don't let them spin you. The Democrats caved. People have been asking me, what Democrats caved? I want to know. We need to know. Okay, so these are the Democrats who voted to cave to the Republicans. 8 Democratic senators are Dick Durbin, Maggie Hassan, Angus King, Catherine Cortez Masto, Tim Kaine, Jeanne Shaheen, Jackie Rosen, and John Fetterman. They joined the 52 Republicans in this procedural vote to reopen the government without a guaranteed extension of healthcare subsidies. Just a promise to pick it up and maybe vote on it in December. Come on now. Look, don't let them spin you.
You remember when I told you that the other day? I said, all they got to do is just say, yeah, we'll talk about it afterwards. Don't worry. We'll have a promise. We'll make the promise. Looks like the promise was heard. It's not going all well for Chuck Schumer 20 hours ago at the MSNBC insane asylum.
Every time You think Chuck Schumer needs to go after tonight?
He should have gone a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. Yes. You talk about aim and not meeting the moment, right? Every time he gets in front of a camera, the average Democratic voter out there screams, be done with you, be done. And this will only accelerate that. Yes,
Joe,
I think
the meltdowns are continuing at MSNBC. Senator Rand Paul, the only Senate Republican who actually joined the Senate Democrats who voted to keep government shut down. Unfortunately, Paul Zapilo writes, unfortunately, he's not up for re-election until 2028.
Senators Tim Kaine. It looks like we could be nearing the end of this shutdown stalemate. We hope. The Senate voted 60-40 to pass the bill overnight, the first step in a series of procedural maneuvers. 8 Democrats joined Republicans to pass the GOP's revised spending package, including Senate Minority Whip Dick Durbin, Senators Tim Kaine, Catherine Cortez Masto, and Jackie Rosen, among others. Senator Rand Paul was the only GOP no vote. The package will fund the government through the end of January, but in a major blow to progressives, it does not include a deal on Obamacare subsidies. It merely guarantees a vote on the tax credits at a future date. Still, the Dems who did vote for the bill say they were able to extract enough concessions to get them to cross party lines, like reversing the firings of furloughed workers.
This is the beginning to show and fight for Americans across the country. Let me just say this. With the government open, we can focus on passing a full bipartisan budget for 2026.
I understand that not all of my Democratic colleagues are satisfied with this agreement, but waiting another week or another month wouldn't deliver a better outcome.
It was our judgment after 6 weeks, going on 7 weeks of this shutdown, that path wasn't working.
Airlines, which have been dealing with the fallout from flight cuts as a result of air traffic controller shortages, are praising the vote. Airlines for America saying in part, it is more important than ever to ensure that our nation's airspace is safe, reliable, and open. It looks like.
So we're almost there, almost returning to normal with the government reopened. But you heard what he said. It's all gonna happen again in January. Tim Burchett, 12 hours ago, says this was all about power and control and hatred of Donald Trump.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody, Tim Burchett. Out with the dogs here this morning. Hey, early video, but I want to tell you what really is going on in Washington. This has absolutely nothing to do with feeding hungry kids or providing health care for poor folks. All it has to do is power and control. And you've seen it every dadgum time. And the Democrats, they can't stand Trump. They can't stand anything that he does. If, you know, he walks on water and saves some drowning kid, he says, oh, he violated our water rights. I mean, you know, it's just the most ridiculous stuff, and they're blaming Trump. Trump had absolutely nothing to do with any of this. It's pure Democrats. They voted, 15 times now to close the government, and they finally got enough courage to do what was right.
Well, how much courage, really? Senator Tim Kaine admits on camera he's been voting no on reopening the government and doesn't even know why.
Fully.
Do you wish that you would have started looking for this off-ramp sooner? You said that Republicans were never going to change in their position.
I didn't fully understand how dug in they were, again, because I was so focused on the Virginia elections. I wasn't in this discussion on the healthcare to see how dug in they were. But even as I was not part of these discussions, I was saying to Thune and others on the floor going back, listen, I need you. Some of you heard me say this in the hall. I need a moratorium on mischief. Others are working on the healthcare thing. I trust them. Others are working on the approach thing. I trust them. I need a moratorium on mischief, because if we vote to open and then the immediate step next week is Donald Trump fires a lot more people, it's going to blow up trust to get the full year deal. And so I've been preaching this moratorium on mischief for a month, but I think partly why did they finally give me the moratorium on mischief on RIFs? They needed my vote, but they also saw the election on Tuesday.
Do you wish that you would have started?
Saw the election on Tuesday. 8 Democrat senators, Durbin, Hassan, King, Cortez Masto, Kaine, Shaheen, Rosen, and Fetterman, joining 52 Republicans in procedural vote to reopen the government. So this is huge, huge news. President Trump, looks like we're getting close.
Looks like we're getting very close on the shutdown. We'll never agree to give any substantial money or any money to really prisoners, illegals that come into our country. And I think the Democrats understand that. And it looks like we're getting close to the shutdown ending. You'll know very soon. Thank you.
And we will know very soon. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So the shutdown exposed everything wrong with Washington. Democrats held America hostage for political points, then folded like a cheap suit when their bluff was called. Tim Kaine voting blind, Morning Joe admitting it was about hiding crime stats, 8 Democrats breaking ranks, the whole charade collapsing. Trump gave them nothing, 0 for illegal, 0 for Obamacare, just pure defeat served cold. Even Bernie Sanders called it a bad night. Chris Murphy warning that Trump will only get stronger from this, and he's right. When you weaponize government shutdowns for elections, you deserve to lose. The American people see through your games now. And Air Force One flying victory laps while Schumer sulks tells the whole story. So here's my question for the comments. Should senators who vote without reading bills be removed from office? Drop your answer below. Let's have a conversation. And remember, support real journalism. Grab your next news gear from our merch shop, linked in the description.